great defensive teams with Seton Hall and Colorado. But for Seton Hall, they've got to contend with the elevation, number one. 2, the Buffalo running at them, stampeding. And 3, Tristan Da Silva, a bona fide NBA player at 6'9", incredibly efficient. So that defense is going to be put to the test.
This is the home where the Buffalo roam in Boulder. And the Buffs have been very good at home this year. Here is Tristan Da Silva matched up with Casey Nadefo. Da Silva backs him in, gets him in the air, gets the roll, and Colorado's on the board first.
And in Casey Nadefo, you're looking at one of the top active players in all of college basketball in terms of block shots. At 6'7", he's an elite defender, so that matchup is going to be fantastic. And Colorado's got to look over their shoulder all night long to look for number 13 in blue.
Over 370 career blocks. Tyrese Samuel down low. Shot clock inside 10. Jameer Harris outside the arc. Alamir Dawes launches a rainbow three, and Seton Hall from the outside.
And you're going to make it rain here on a sunny day in Colorado. Looked like World Be Free, dropping it from the stratosphere.
Purvis Short had the sweet rainbow jumper back in the day. Good ball movement for the Buffs. Lawson Lovering, offensive foul. He runs over Femi Odekale, and that's a turnover by Colorado as the 7-1 Lovering called for the charge.
Yeah, right there. That's not his fault. If you lead him right into that, it's like, you know, when your wife asks you a question where you know there's no right answer, and you go, wait, you led me into that. That wasn't fair. You trapped me. That was entrapment.
Oh, I know that all too well, unfortunately.
Casey Nadefo for Seton Hall, the one player who came with Coach Shaheen Holloway from that Elite 8 team with St. Peter's.
The step back, stumbling, and then the shot rattles out for Alamir Dawes. And Colorado with Julian Hammond brings it across. Inside, Lovering rams it home.
There is great double screen. And how about that dish by Julian Hammond? I mean, finding the big guy in tight spaces, and that's how you get him going. You lead him right into the jam. Perfect delivery, perfect timing, and at 7-1, Lawson Lovering is just scratching his potential.
Foul was on Tyrese Samuel. 6'10", big man for Seton Hall. Lovering is only a 40% free throw shooter, and Colorado up by 2.
His mom, Lynn Fox, played at Fresno State. His dad, Christian, played at Colorado. So big-time basketball genes. And the big guys, they get better between age 20 and 24. He's got a lot of room to grow.
On the move, 3 is off from Jameer Harris. And there is Lawson Lovering clearing for Colorado. Julian Hammond penetrates, the floater in the key, and the rebound ripped down by Tyrese Samuel for Seton Hall. Samuel pushes it up himself, now attacks Lawson Lovering, gets to the basket, Luke O'Brien the rebound, and Colorado looks to counter.
Yeah, pretty great move by Tyrese Samuel on the break. Thought he had an advantage, he just didn't finish with the lefty little hook layup.
Julian Hammond into the key, lost the handle, picked up. Here comes Seton Hall, 3-on-1. The drop off, and the referee with a whistle waiting for a signal. It should be an and one, and it is. Nice and one. Running the floor is Casey Nadefo for Seton Hall.
Yeah, right there, 3-on-1. Casey Nadefo at 6'7", has played a lot of college basketball. It's a good call. He got there a little bit late and slid right into him. Good concentration by Casey Nadefo, who
first on Nick Clifford
is a 3-time MAC Defensive Player of the Year. A couple of those were unanimous. He had 11 blocks in a game. And the reason that Shaheen Holloway said he's going to take him with him when he went to Seton Hall was he already got his degree from St. Peter's. He told all his other guys to come back and go to St. Peter's. Now, none of them did. All of them transferred. And none of those transferred made it to the NCAA tournament this year, by the way.
Tristan Da Silva. Nick Clifford looking to get on track offensively, is way off with that one. And the rebound tip, Tyrese Samuel. Alamir Dawes for Seton Hall. The pull up from the elbow, and the rebound, Nick Clifford for the Buffs.
And you're seeing the struggles from both teams. Good moves, good decisions, but just not knocking down shots early. And that's what we might see. This game might be played down in the 50s.
Lawson Lovering trying the left hand and getting a piece of it, it looked like, was Tyrese Samuel, and Seton Hall has it.
Yeah, Tyrese Samuel already with a couple of good defensive possessions. He's a unicorn in college basketball, and then he played 4 years straight for the same college or university. Oh my goodness. Give him a medal.
Spinning, foul, and Casey Nadefo will go to the line. And Luke O'Brien whistled for the foul. And 2 free throws coming up for Nadefo. And Seton Hall, one of the top teams in the country, both making and taking free throws, and they're aggressive early.
Yeah, but their percentage is low. So they get to the line a lot, but they could use that free throw line as an even better weapon if they brought that percentage up as a team. And it's one of those things when talking to Coach Holloway where he's scratching his head. He's saying, if I knew the answer to that, you know, he'd be in the Hall of Fame, basically, because he loves their aggression. He loves that they get there, but they got to convert. They got to convert at a higher rate.
And they practice a ton of free throws. It's not like they don't work on it.
Yep, and then it just becomes mentally. You know, I found as a player, you've got to set yourself at the line. You've got to take a deep breath because you go from wrestling in the paint to now you got to knock down a shot.
So Seton Hall is last in the Big East in foul shooting, and they're right around 300 in the country in free throw percentage, and a lane violation will give Nadefo another one. And Nadefo converts, takes advantage of it, and the Pirates are up 8-5.
A pretty good start for Seton Hall, and a lot was made about the elevation and the fatigue, and they came off a heartbreaking loss in the Big East tournament. Really heartbreaking. They were up 4 with 17 seconds left to go, and they lost that game. But I think a Shaheen Holloway practice is much harder than playing at elevation, personally.
Luke O'Brien, the rebound tip to Nick Clifford. He misses point blank. The tip and the rebound secured by Nadefo for Seton Hall.
Yeah, second time Nick Clifford's got a good look. He had the baseline jump shot. That time a tip.
Nice backdoor feed, the lay-in, and a strong finish. Alamir Dawes, and it's Seton Hall by 5.
Yeah, great little dribble right off the dribble by Casey Nadefo. And Alamir Dawes needs to do more of that. He's got to score tonight if Seton Hall wants to win.
Foul before the shot on the floor, and they get it on Femi Odikali. And the pit transfer with his first, but a good start on the road. Seton Hall up 5 in Boulder. First round of the NIT. Seton Hall, the early lead at Colorado in the first meeting between the Pirates and Buffaloes. First round of the NIT in Boulder tonight. Tristan Da Silva is so key for Tad Boyle, especially as the first team all Pac-12 performer. They're going to really lean on him tonight considering KJ Simpson is out again for Colorado.
Yeah, no doubt. They need his 16 points a game. At 6'9", what I love about him best is his efficiency. 40% from three, 50% from the field. I went to his teammate Ethan Wright at shoot-around, and I said, who's the best one-on-one player on the team? And he's like, listen, it's got to be Tristan. He's got the elite pump fake, the shooting. And at 6'9", what Ethan pointed out was great footwork. And that makes him an incredibly dynamic and tough cover.
So both teams are banged up into this first-round matchup. KJ Simpson, the second-team all Pac-12 performer, out for Colorado, dealing with a non-COVID illness, dealing with mono the last few weeks. And a loose ball on the rebound and hustling for it. Seton Hall comes away with it. And also for Colorado, no Javon Ruffin or Javon Hadley, so three key guys out. But Seton Hall dealing with their own injuries too.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they've got Kadari Richmond is their 6'6" point guard. He's out, so they go to another guy who's also a 6'6" point guard in Dre Davis. But still, that kind of shifts everybody over to some degree when their best playmaker is out.
Jameer Harris lost control of it, trying to convert inside. Colorado's missed their last 6 shots from the floor.
They got a 5-on-4 here.
Open is Jalen Gabadon for 3 off the bench, and the grad transfer from Yale.
Yeah, Yale fell earlier to Vanderbilt in the NIT. He came over. He's a former Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year. Ethan Wright's a transfer from Princeton. And for two programs who have a lot of history, those two guys are really good friends now. And they really have brought a lot to this program in terms of their experience.
Travel on KC to Defo, so you're saying those two really elevated the GPA for Colorado.
Oh, come on, man. They did a lot more than that. They elevated the defensive numbers, okay, more than anything, the shooting percentages. And, yes, they happen to be great students.
Shaheen Holloway also missing guys. Kadari Richmond, as we said, is out. So is Trey Jackson. Neither made the trip west with Seton Hall. As Kadari Richmond now missing 5 straight games with a back injury, got injured at UConn there in February as Julian Hammond, it spins out. He's getting all the minutes in the absence of KJ Simpson. And then Trey Jackson missing his 3rd straight game with an ankle injury, the transfer from Missouri.
Yeah, Julian Hammond's been good early. He's penetrating well, and he's making good decisions. But like a lot of the Buffs, they're just not finishing, and they're getting good looks.
Tyrese Samuel, foul on Jalen Gabadon of Colorado, and Samuel will head to the line.
Yeah, Jalen Gabadon didn't like the call. He thought he got him clean up top. He's saying, come on, man, I'm a former Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know what I'm doing around the rim.
Last year, Gabadon was 2nd team All Ivy League at Yale, averaged 11 points a game.
Yeah, and Coach Boyle isn't trying to build through the transfer portal, but he'll take grad transfers. They bring that maturity. He really just wants guys who are going to come for 4 years, unless there's guys who already graduated. And, you know, it kind of shows you when you have that experience what you can bring to the table. It doesn't disrupt the culture. It helps the culture.
They're more of a recruit and develop program. They're not afraid of redshirt players. And it's worked for Tad Boyle. Colorado doesn't have a great basketball history. They only have 13 20-win seasons in the history of Colorado basketball.
Yep.
Tad Boyle's engineered 9 of them.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's coached a number of NBA draft picks and a number of guys who just made NBA rosters. Alec Burks, Derek White, Jabari Walker with the Portland Trail Blazers.
McKinley Wright recently. As Tad Boyle, they've been dominant at home under Tad Boyle. And Seton Hall, 6 true road wins this year, the most for a first-year coach since the kids, Phil Raftery. Ethan Wright spots up. And the rebound grabbed by Seton Hall and Jaquan Sanders. But in home non-conference games, including postseason under Boyle, Colorado is 88-7.
Yeah, that's spectacular. And it's one of the unique things about the NIT that makes it a lot of fun is that you get true road games, true home games, and another chance to play in front of your fans.
Alamir Dawes called for the foul, his first. Team foul number 3 on Seton Hall. in the NIT Colorado for the second straight year. And Seton Hall in the postseason for the sixth time the last 7 years. And 5 of those trips have been NCAA tournaments. Tristan Da Silva, there's some of that footwork you were talking about.
Yeah, really a great play when you're driving to your left and you're able to stop on a dime and go back to that jump hook over the right shoulder. That's a real pro move, and you're seeing why he's projected as a second rounder in the 2024 NBA draft. It's that and his ability to switch and guard multiple positions potentially at the next level.
Spotting up, then a 3 is short from Dre Davis, the transfer from Louisville. But a foul going for the rebound inside, and they're getting it on Seton Hall. And it's on Tay Davis, the younger brother of Dre, the freshman. Well, Dre is a junior, and both of them played for their dad in high school. Dre Sr., who is head coach there in Indianapolis at Warren Central. Luke O'Brien by himself, then hustling over. Tay Davis blocks the shot.
Yeah, Tay Davis originally committed to Louisville, and then when Chris Mack left, got out of that commitment and ended up coming with his brother. But it wasn't always going to be a package deal. His mom, Carlonda, was watching the NCAA tournament last year and said, I want to coach like that. Whoever that St. Peter's guy is, Shaheen Holloway, there were some phone calls made, and then both brothers ended up with Seton Hall.
Jalen Gabadon had a clean look and elevating over everybody. Tyrese Samuel for the rebound. Alamir Dawes drops it off and missing inside. Last touch by Colorado as Tyrese Samuel couldn't get full control of it, but it stays with the Pirates. Seton Hall up 4.
Yeah, coming in, Colorado was a little bit worried about the physicality, and that's what we're talking about, a huge block. Tay Davis inside.
Seton Hall up at Colorado, first round of the NIT. The winner of this game will play the winner of New Mexico, Utah Valley. which will be played in Albuquerque tomorrow night. But the Pirates defense, so far the story in this one, Colorado only 4 for 14 from the floor. Yeah. But that's what's been the recipe for Shaheen Holloway in his first season.
Yeah, no doubt. And another thing is that Colorado has struggled to make three-point shots when they haven't been good this year. So it's great defense by Seton Hall, but it's a combination of that and Colorado just missing open shots. But just being in the shoot-around today with Shaheen Holloway, he demands perfection on the defensive end. He does not take breakdowns, and this guy with the basketball is kind of their quarterback on the defensive end, Casey Nadefo.
Off the dribble, pull-up, rattles out the mid-range from Dre Davis. Ethan Wright brings it up for Colorado.
Yeah, I like that for Colorado. Get out and get on the break. They had a break there, and I think they just kind of put the brakes on themselves.
Maybe they see the ball go through the hoop, get some easy buckets. That could relax them a bit on the offensive end. Ethan Wright down the lane. Forced a pass for Lawson Lovering, and it's picked off by Casey Nadefo. Nadefo on the drive. Over the 7-1 Lovering, and the rebound Jalen Gabadon for Colorado. Our officials, Vern Harris, Mike Littlewood, Chad Shepard. And Jalen Gabadon lost it out of bounds, and that's the 4th turnover by the Buffaloes.
What you're seeing now is that Colorado's open on the penetrating kick. But the recovery by Seton Hall is so great that they're forcing the Buffs into these pump fakes and kind of awkward situations. So I think Colorado's got to be aware of that and shoot that semi-contested 3 on the closeout.
Here's a 3. And that one's off from Femi Odekale. Not necessarily known as a three-point shooter. Ethan Wright. And a 3 for the Princeton grad transfer who's been playing well recently for Colorado.
Yeah, he's an excellent three-point shooter. He can really drive it. And he can sky off 2 feet. He can really dunk in impressive fashion for Colorado. Now, for all those Arizona fans out there, I have to apologize that they got such a terrible draw in the NCAA tournament. And they're going to be going packing early because Princeton
circled your shot.
Oh. I got a couple, but Princeton's one of them. The other one is, sorry to all the UConn fans, but Iona's going to win that game.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Luke O'Brien had a good look, and the rebound tipped to Nadefo, and Seton Hall has it.
Now, I may have gotten too much sun today in beautiful, where are we, Colorado?
Maybe the elevation's getting to you.
Yeah. I have less oxygen in my brain potentially, but I love that Iona team coached by Rick Pitino, and the winner of this game might have another Pitino and Richard. Down in New Mexico with 2 sons of NBA players, Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Eddie House's son. They're 2 best players.
House. Ethan Wright rattles in a 3, and Ethan Wright ties the game, and he's getting the offense going for Colorado.
Yeah, he's doing a great job on that flat screen. Not coming out too high. He's hiding right behind the screen, right where the pocket of open defense is.
Offensive foul, legal screen, as Tay Davis ran over Jalen Gabadon.
It's the 2 grad transfers making great plays. Ethan Wright back-to-back 3-pointers, and then Jalen Gabadon all over the scouting report with the hard chase. He forced that moving screen.
Second foul on Tay Davis. And Seton Hall now has gone cold after Colorado had their struggles. Seton Hall playing their first game on the road against a Pac-12 team since December of 1985 as Lawson Lovering missed a slam, and he'll shoot a couple. They won that game in overtime at Stanford. You want to know how long ago that was? That predated Mike Montgomery coaching at Stanford. That was the final year of Dr. Tom Davis coaching at Stanford before he went to Iowa.
Yeah, going way back, and you know, this whole the NIT is just different because in a postseason situation like this, you get an email and you go, wait, we got to go to Colorado. And for Seton Hall, it definitely feels a little bit like Mars when you come from East Orange, New Jersey, all the way out here, the elevation.
Well, they had
atmosphere.
to travel the furthest distance of anyone. And we talked to Shaheen Holloway, and he had concerns, didn't want to talk about it too much with his team about playing in the altitude. But you look up and down his bench, and nobody really has experienced what they're playing in tonight at a mile high.
Yeah, and he's not someone who's ever going to make excuses. Remember a year ago, as we see, East Orange 151 feet off the ground compared to Boulder.
First lead for Colorado since it was 5-3, and Tyrese Samuel had it blocked but cleaned up by Casey Nadefo for the Pirates.
And Tristan DeSilva was trying to box out Casey Nadefo, but he didn't go after the ball, and neither did any of his teammates. Casey Nadefo beat everybody to the basketball inside.
Nadefo already was 7 to lead Seton Hall. Lawson Lovering on the perimeter. Quincy Allen in the game, the Washington, D.C. native, as Nick Clifford fouled on the drive by Casey Nadefo, and he's got 2. Tight ball game in Boulder, and your guy from Princeton, Noah, getting the Buffs going.
Someone's trying to get the lid off the thing. How about Ethan Wright? Bottoms from the wing for the Buffs.
Is that Noah Savage moonlighting on Pearl Street?
Well, that guy asked me for some change, and I had to do the old pump fakes. I saw I don't have any cash, but let me tell you something. Boulder, fantastic city. The 2 best meals I've ever had in a pregame situation. Really great
Right
food
here?
city, and it's got more sun in the city of Boulder than in San Diego. Per year, more sun. That's true. You're looking at me like it's not true. I looked that
Noah,
up.
Bill Walton on line 1. Shaheen Holloway in his first year back at his alma mater, and he was the darling, the sensation of the tournament last year, leading St. Peter's. The first ever 15 seed to go to the Elite Eight, as along the way they beat Kentucky, Murray State, and Purdue before losing to North Carolina. And then when Kevin Willard left to take the Maryland job at For a lot of people, it was a no-brainer that Shaheen Holloway was the right fit.
Yeah, and he kind of went into a bunker, and his agent was trying to call him, and he couldn't get a hold of him until he got the blessing from his kids at St. Peter's. And that was anything but a smooth ride through that tournament. He had food poisoning and didn't originally travel with his team, and he celebrated that first huge win against Kentucky with bread. He wasn't even ready to eat a real meal. And I asked him today, okay, when did you start and be able to enjoy it? Because during that run, he was so locked into, we have another game, and that's what helped them win so many, not just stop with the initial upset. He said he still hasn't really gotten a chance to sit down and enjoy it.
Because it wasn't that long after that he took the Seton Hall job. And a three missed by Jameer Harris. And the rebound tipped out, chased down by Tyrese Samuel for Seton Hall. And a fresh 20 for the Pirates. So he had to quickly switch from St. Peter's to Seton Hall and put his stamp on this program, and didn't have time to really reflect on what he accomplished.
Yeah, and you can't get caught up in the media story. Something that makes him a great coach is that he's so demanding. And he didn't just sit back and enjoy the Kentucky win. He said, wait, we got to beat Purdue. And that was like one of the most impressive things to watch during that run.
Lawson Lovering missing point blank, but Colorado gets it again. Tristan Da Silva, the kick to Nick Clifford, left open. And a three for Nick Clifford. He struggled shooting the ball recently, and Clifford buries a three, only a 28% three-point shooter, largest lead for Colorado.
But I love the find by Tristan Da Silva, driving to his left, and he saw a mass of blue jerseys, and he realized who's open, the guy behind him.
Poked out of bounds by Nick Clifford, and it belongs to Seton Hall.
When Nick Clifford does a good job to relocate behind the drive of Tristan Da Silva, comes right up to the top of the key. Great find, and able to just set his feet and knock it down. It looks a little bit like Colorado is just pressing when they're shooting the basketball early.
And Clifford in the two games of the Pac-12 tournament in Las Vegas was 1 for 10 from the floor in their win against Washington and loss against UCLA. As a desperation three heaved up by Alamir Dawes, and Colorado has the rebound. Julian Hammond spinning, spins out. Lawson Lovering underneath the offensive glass, but stepped on the end line, and it goes over to Seton Hall.
So you see the last shot attempt by Nick Clifford when Tristan Da Silva was driving. That's a good shot. Penetrate, kick it out, get it open three versus drive it in and force up a tough two. I think that if Colorado's forcing the tough two, that plays into Seton Hall's hands.
9-2 push by Colorado to go up 4. On the drive, getting inside, and a block. Tristan Da Silva denies Femi Odekale.
I think that should be going down. It went back off the hands of Seton Hall player. Right here, look at the end of this play. He blocks it right back into his hand. Odekale hit that basketball out.
Seton Hall definitely will take it. Into the key, and the floater short from Dre Davis. And here come the Buffaloes. Nick Clifford. And the pass deflected and stolen, and Tad Boyle frustrated with that turnover.
Yeah, I think Lawson Lovering was open, but it was a good deflection by Seton Hall to save a bucket.
On the drive, down the lane, and missing at the rim. Shaheen Holloway wondering where a foul was not called.
Yeah, I thought he got hacked.
Luke O'Brien. As Femi Odekale took off down the lane. Tristan Da Silva bumped inside, and that's the first on Dre Davis. NCAA Men's Basketball Championship First Four continues. Tomorrow on True TV, coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. That's 4:30 here in the Mountain Time Zone. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. I'm looking forward to that Nevada-Arizona State matchup tomorrow night. Bobby Hurley against Steve Alford. And the interesting dynamic. So Arizona State has Desmond Cambridge Jr. and Warren Washington, who both transferred from Nevada to Arizona State.
And where did Desmond Cambridge Jr. start his career?
In the Ivy League.
At Brown. And actually played at my high school. And as a freshman, he had 30 and 31 in back-to-back games against Penn and Princeton, and he's never met a shot he doesn't like, but he had the best shot of the year for that team, half-court buzzer beater for Arizona State.
At Arizona, and quite conceivably, that was the shot that got him into the tournament.
And he's got NBA potential. He is really long and can really shoot it, and still just got to pick his spots a little bit better.
Seton Hall only 1 for their last 9, and as much as Tad Boyle detests playing a zone, he's playing one here. And the rebound grab by Luke O'Brien. And like Seton Hall, Colorado short on numbers, and you're going to see both teams play zone probably more than they would like to. And a foul over the back, and it's on Luke O'Brien of Colorado, number 2 on O'Brien. 3:58 to go, first half, largest lead of the night for Colorado in the first round of the NIT with Seton Hall. (24-18), Colorado hosting Seton Hall. The Buffs lead in first round of the NIT. For the third straight year, every NCAA women's championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Anybody knock off South Carolina?
Maybe UConn, they got a key piece back.
Stanford?
Maybe the Princeton Tigers by a former UConn Carla Berube leading the way. They're back in. Not that I'm biased at all.
Clearly not. So you got Princeton beating Arizona on the men's side. Iona over UConn. Any other bold predictions?
Yeah, I love Colgate. Now they got a tough draw with Texas, but Colgate leads the country in three-point shooting. They shoot a lot of threes. They've got great balance. And on a neutral court, if you get hot, it reminds me of another, coach who got hot with Florida Gulf Coast, running up and down, gunning threes. I think three-point shooting is how the upsets happen.
I talked to that coach this morning, Andy Enfield.
Your boy.
At USC as they play Michigan State in the first round. And a reset for Seton Hall. They've gone cold from the floor. They've been in a drought for over 4 minutes. Seton Hall is just 1 for their last 13. And there's a reach-in foul on Alamir Dawes, his second foul. And you can't really call it a 7-0 run because, Noah, it's spanned over about 4 minutes and 15 seconds. They've scored 7 straight points.
Yeah, and there's been some good offense. You know, they went into that zone. They got it inside to Tyrese Samuel. He had an easy little jump shot from 14 feet. He missed it. And then Colorado has been getting good shots consistently. Wide open threes, penetrating kick. And it's just about knocking them down.
Julian Hammond, an 84% foul shooter, misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Seton Hall in desperate need of a basket. Where is it going to come from for Shaheen Holloway? Stumbling into the key and a wild shot by Femi Odikali. And Colorado has it again.
They really got no real advantage. The ball moved, but nobody got an advantage in terms of penetration. And they've gotten a little stagnant on that end.
Ethan Wright keeps the dribble. Jalen Gabadon. Wright. 3.
It was a great pump by Jalen Gabadon. He took the baseline, didn't charge, and while that was going on, Ethan Wright relocated. Great offense for the 2 grad transfers.
Third 3 for Ethan Wright. Colorado's 5 of 9 from 3. Knocked away by Lawson Lovering, picked up by the Hall, and inside, missing at the rim, Tyrese Samuel one more time. +1 for Tyrese Samuel.
A good job to stick with it by Tyrese Samuel, but Lawson Lovering got the first block, and one of the guards needs to come down here and help him a little bit. He comes in there, at least bothered Tyrese Samuel inside, and the guard's got to come down and get those long rebounds that go to that restricted area.
Foul on Lawson Lovering, his second. And
Now,
Samuel rattles out the free throw, the first miss for Seton Hall from the line.
Tyrese Samuel, a 4-year player here at Seton Hall, and he could come back for another year. He's got the COVID year to come back.
And a foul on the drive will send Ethan Wright to the line. And the second foul on Dre Davis of Seton Hall.
But how about the minutes off the bench for Ethan Wright? Comes off the pick and roll, Curly Neal impression. Harlem Globetrotters finally gets it to Jalen Gabadon, drive the baseline, kick it back to him, and able to knock down shots. And, you know, he went from playing about 15 minutes a game with everybody banged up to up closer to 30. And he'll come in at the under 16 timeout and basically play the end of the half, both halves. So he's really found a rhythm and found a place for himself. And Coach Boyle's been thrilled with those 2 guys who transferred over from the Ivy League.
One more for Ethan Wright. Double figures already for Wright. Leads all scorers with 10. So Ethan Wright has been in double figures now in 3 of the last 4 games after just 1 time in the first 30 Colorado games this season.
He told me the game's definitely faster at this level. The facilities are fantastic here at Colorado. He's really taken advantage of those, worked on his body, and you know, he was a little surprised at how good of a friend he became with Jalen Gabadon, the former enemy.
Smart guys bonded. Alamir Dawes missing a 3, and a foul will send Tay Davis to the line for Seton Hall. And it's on Julian Hammond, his first.
And it's kind of the only thing that's keeping Seton Hall in this game is their ability to relocate into the front of the rim and get offensive rebounds.
One more for Tay Davis, the freshman. So with the brothers, again, Tay was originally committed to go to Louisville, where Dre already was. But Tay was the first one to commit to Shaheen Holloway. He got out of his letter of intent from Louisville and then committed to Seton Hall, and not too long after, Dre followed his younger brother to Seton Hall as a turnover. Nick Clifford throws it away.
And their dad's a coach, DeAndre Sr. at Warren Central High School in Indianapolis, so they got the kind of sons of a coach mentality. And Dre has been mega hot after coming back from that ankle injury. They need to find him a little bit and get him involved.
He also, again, we talked about this at the top. The altitude, how much it's bothering Seton Hall playing at a mile high. Ethan Wright to the basket.
Oh.
Blocked and a goaltend. Tyrese Samuel got it and give the bucket to Ethan Wright.
Yeah, Ethan Wright can really fly, and he loves to go off 2 feet, so he got out in the break and just took one power dribble, was able to take off. And right there, easy call, hit the glass first. The backside of the zone is wide open if somebody could see it.
There's a long three, straight on. Al-Amir Dawes, his second three of the first half.
He's 38% from downtown. He hit 75 threes this season. No one else on Seton Hall coming in hit more than 26. So he's the guy who's got to shoot them out of that zone. And
in the absence of Kadari Richmond, Dawes has taken on a much bigger role for Shaheen Holloway. On the drive, Julian Hammond skips to the bucket. And the first points of the night for Julian Hammond. And a foul. And in the bonus, a 1-and-1 for Seton Hall, and gambling for a steal. Hammond just picked up his second. NCAA women's basketball first round continues Saturday, 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific on ABC. St. Louis takes on Tennessee, followed by Vermont and UConn. And ESPN has Miami squaring off against Oklahoma State at 2 Eastern. Then it's the winner of Purdue and St. John's against North Carolina. All games are also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. One more for Femi Odekale. Just a 51% foul shooter. His first point of the night, the Pitt transfer. High school teammate of Kadari Richmond. And like Odekale, Richmond also transferring in from Syracuse. As Odekale hits both.
And since the injury, he's been able to move back over to the point guard position. Since the UConn game, feels a little more comfortable there.
Jalen Gavadon attacks. Off balance, throws it up, and the rebound pulled down. And from beyond midcourt, way off from Femi Odekale. But a 6-point game, as poorly as Seton Hall shot in the first half, they're hanging in there, and Ethan Wright finally sparked Colorado to get them going.
You got to find somebody who's able to knock down a shot. Ethan Wright came in, took advantage of his minutes, and
3 in the first half, and the Hall missed 12 of their last 14 shots. They jumped out to a lead as large as 5. Colorado led by as many as 9. And a 6-point lead here at halftime, and Tad Boyle and the Buffaloes here on their home floor. Last year they lost a first-round NIT matchup to St. Bonaventure here in Boulder. So they're in the NIT for the second consecutive year. Last time they played a Big East team, you got to go back to the NCAA, the bubble year when they ran Georgetown out of the building there in the 2021 tournament. Corner 3, and Al-Amir Dawes the miss.
And what you're seeing from both teams is pretty good offense and just missed shots. And the way you know that is not a lot of turnovers. Seton Hall only 3 turnovers. Colorado had 7 turnovers in the first half. There's one.
A steal, and going in for the slam and missing is Tyrese Samuel.
And that would have been a spectacular throwdown from Tyrese Samuel. Right here, great steal, and I love the aggression. He takes off from about the 3rd hash and just back rims it.
Kind of sums up Seton Hall, their offense so far tonight. 23% shooting. They're just 2 for their last 16 as Tristan De Silva the missed, and Luke O'Brien can't get the reverse, and the rebound hustling Femi Odekale for Seton Hall.
And that was just Tristan De Silva's 4th shot attempt. And it was the easiest one he got so far with the little lefty jump hook.
Shot clock at 10, and a whistle as Jameer Harris on the drive. And a foul committed by Tristan De Silva. First foul on De Silva for Colorado. And no, I also, look, we talked about the travel for Seton Hall. Look, they find out late yesterday they're coming to Boulder. They flew here last night, traveling almost all the way across the country, the furthest distance anybody in the NIT had to travel. Plus, the game tips off at 11 o'clock Eastern time as a three is nailed. Jameer Harris's first points of the night. And all of a sudden, it's down to 3. But then also trying to shake off the hangover that could be still with Seton Hall, the way they lost in that first round Big East tournament matchup against DePaul as Tristan Da Silva cans a 3.
Yeah, and it was really just a series of bad plays, a turnover, a foul on a three-point shot, and then they lost with a game-saving block shot that was originally called a goaltend. But both teams starting to percolate a little bit, make some shots. Tristan Da Silva got open.
Lawson Lovering, his third foul. So Tad Boyle, decision to make, and he makes it quickly, sends Jalen Gabadon in. Will pull his big man here with 3 fouls in just over 18 minutes remaining.
And that's exactly what Tad Boyle told us that Lawson Lovering does very well, which is that he can really move his feet for a 7-1 guy, and especially showing on ball screens. That makes him a special defender where he can get out there and slide and get back to his guy, but that time he's a little late.
Over the top, and Tyrese Samuel gets it back, gathers, and the foul will send Samuel to the line, the second on Tristan Da Silva.
Tyrese Samuel definitely has a little bit of a strength advantage inside on Tristan Da Silva, and that time he just moved him out of the way to get to that right hand.
Samuel, the senior from Montreal, the only Seton Hall player to start every game this year.
He set career highs in assists and steals this year. He's really developed under Coach Shaheen Holloway, and he spent a little bit more time under Coach Holloway down low. He used to be more of a pick and pop guy. Now he's picking and rolling. He's getting the ball in the block a little bit more, and you see those numbers going up every year.
And he played a strong game in that game against DePaul, that loss at the Big East tournament. As a 3-time academic All-Big East selection is Luke O'Brien as Colorado attacks the Seton Hall press.
As Seton Hall shows press, it was a great pass ahead first by Julian Hammond, and an excellent decision by Jalen Gabadon to drop it on a dime.
First points for Luke O'Brien, who took over as a starter late in the year for Colorado. Now Amir Dawes, the kick, 2 on the shot clock. And a 3 from the corner is off from KC Nadefo. Nick Clifford attacks. Lost it going up, out of bounds. We're going the other way. It belongs to Seton Hall.
I don't mind the attack by Nick Clifford, as he felt he had an advantage, but he's frustrated because of the defense flew by him. He actually had a wide open layup at the end of that play. And Seton Hall's been mainly just attacking a set Colorado defense off the dribble. They got to move that D first.
Over the top, the lob and the tip in, Tyrese Samuel.
What a pass.
How about the one-hand control, though, from Samuel up top, too?
Yeah, he thought about throwing it down, then decided to just lay it in, but Femi Odikali, great vision, and threw it right to the spot where only his teammate could get it.
Jalen Gabadon to the basket for Colorado.
Nice slash by Jalen Gabadon.
Spin move, Tyrese Samuel on the baseline. He's come out aggressive here in the second half.
Yeah, excellent kind of feel move on the baseline. Just felt him on his body. Boom, took the baseline and the jam, making up for the missed one earlier.
Seems like Seton Hall is getting more locked in here in the second half.
Yeah, and I think they're realizing where they're bigger on the floor, and they're going to that mismatch inside.
With Lawson Lovering sitting with the 3 fouls, and Seton Hall capitalizing on the interior. And a 3-second call as Tyrese Samuel never got out. 4-point lead for Colorado. First round of the NIT here in Boulder.
Yeah, and finally a little bit of offense. Seton Hall throws the press on Jalen Gabadon, gets it to Luke O'Brien, and then up top. Yes, Tyrese Samuel can fly.
Well, we mentioned the tough loss that Seton Hall suffered at the Garden in the Big East tournament against DePaul. They led by 4 with 17 seconds to go.
Yeah, and it was a turnover, and then Casey Nadefo with the overzealous attempt, and then they still had a chance to win it. And right here, this is an unbelievable block by Nick Ongenda. It was called a goaltend initially. They went back, and they ruled it was a clean block. And that's just a devastating way to win. When you think you wanted the buzzer, you end up losing the basketball game, getting knocked out much earlier against a team that you're way better than. That's something to recover from, and that's the case with a lot of these NIT teams. You're disappointed you're not in the big dance, but guess what? It's a college basketball game. Then the teams that kind of get over it faster tend to do well.
Who wants to keep playing?
Yeah, exactly. And for anybody who didn't play college basketball, it's not like after this they go on spring break and margaritas and pina coladas. Like, you're just going to play basketball against your teammates, so you might as well play someone else. And those spring workouts are the most brutal of the year. They are the hardest part of college basketball.
Stepping back, corner 3, and the tip and a foul inside will send Casey Nadefo to the line for Seton Hall.
Casey Nadefo just continues to impose his will physically, and he's done a great job of relocating around the rim and just setting up camp.
Third foul on Julian Hammond. Nadefo's 3 for 3 from the line in this one. 7 points for the leading active shot blocker in college basketball. Casey Nadefo does not have a block shot tonight.
No, Coach Tad Boyle was telling the Colorado guys, when he's around, you got to jump in his body, you got to look for him, throw pump fakes. And that's incredible that a Pac-12 coach is that concerned with a guy who started his career at St. Peter's. That's remarkable.
And in preparation for this, again, it's a quick turnaround when you find out on Sunday night who you're playing. And it's a Seton Hall ball. But Tad Boyle trying to equate it to his team, what it'll be like to play and deal with the physicality of Seton Hall, and in the most complimentary fashion, it's a lot like playing UCLA is what he told his team, with how physical Mick Cronin's team is.
Yeah, and it's the type of thing where you got to play through 1, 2, 3 bumps sometimes before you get that whistle. And you're not going to get any calls by looking at the official. You just got to play tough.
Underneath in the slam. Tyrese Samuel having a field day here in the second half and controlling the paint, and we are tied.
Now, it was an excellent post entry by Casey Nadefo, and then even better footwork inside by Tyrese Samuel. Casey Nadefo thought he forced another turnover right there, right here. Looks like a young Shaq spin, hit him in the hand, pivot, and throw it down for Tyrese Samuel, the Ontario native who was described a little bit as he's like every other Canadian, a great kid, very polite.
Tristan De Silva with the shot clock winding down, and Casey Nadefo the rebound. And Seton Hall looking for the lead this trip. Here is Tyrese Samuel backing down. Samuel could not convert down low.
Another pretty good look on the drop step.
8 of his 12, Samuel, in the second half, as Luke O'Brien gets bumped and will shoot a couple of free throws.
And that Alamir Dawes in the restricted area with a little contact.
Tied at 40. Inside 13 and a half minutes to go. First round of the NIT, Colorado hosting Seton Hall. Tied at 40, 13:27 remaining in Boulder, Colorado. First round of the NIT. The winner of our matchup here tonight this weekend will advance to play the winner of New Mexico hosting Utah Valley. So Mark Madsen's Wolverines from Utah Valley, Mad Dogs team were the WAC regular season champions, received an automatic bid into the NIT, and a heartbreaking loss for them at the WAC tournament. And New Mexico a 2 seed at the pit coming up tomorrow night. If Utah Valley wins, the winner of this game would host. But if New Mexico wins, they'll host that second round game.
Yeah, New Mexico, a lot of firepower. Jamal Mashford Jr., 19 points a game. Richard Pitino brought him from Minnesota. And then that Virginia Tech team's got a lot of firepower. Justin Mutz, like a point forward that can really do a lot of things for them. Grant Basile, a stretch four, and then Sean Padula is a excellent shooter and incredibly tough guard. And they're my type of team. 36 on offense, 139th best defense in the country. So they could be feast or famine, depending on what end of the floor they're on.
Both free throws for Luke O'Brien. Jalen Gabadon got tangled up with KC Nadefo after the free throw went in. And he was hobbling a little bit and cranked that shoe a little tighter, and he's good to go.
And I just sense that KC Nadefo is bothering Colorado. He's getting under their skin.
And Al-Amir Dawes, his third three tonight, and the first lead since early in the game for Seton Hall.
And it was KC Nadefo, great screen that got him open. He got a wide open look. And
18-17 the last time they led.
But all those little physical things that KC Nadefo are doing is impacting the game in a big way.
And a foul going for the loose ball and a hold, and it's on Femi Odekale, his second, and he's frustrated with the call.
Yep, a lot of reaction there. He's got to be careful.
Luke O'Brien rattles out in the rebound. Tyrese Samuel for the haul.
And all the way down and out. Colorado can't get frustrated. They're going to keep getting good shots. That was an excellent look.
Momentum clearly right now, Noah, with Seton Hall.
Yeah, and it's the physical plays, the post up, the offensive rebounding, and the tough screening.
Attacking. Nadefo and one. The fourth foul on Lawson Lovering.
Yeah, they run three players off a handoff to get everybody out of the way. So it's a naked single side ball screen for KC Nadefo. Right there off the handoff. There's no help. And he just moves him out of the way and gets there a step late. And I think it's a foul because I don't think he was off the ground. Lawson Lovering's got to be off the ground and vertical within that restricted area. I think his feet were still on the ground when he made that contact. And it's another physical play by that guy, KC Nadefo.
KC Nadefo, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists tonight. And his first miss from the free throw line, he's now 5 for 6.
The Buffs got to get a touch to number 23, Tristan Da Silva. Been pretty quiet.
Jalen Gabadon rims out a 3 and the rebound. Al-Amir Dawes rips it down for Seton Hall, and they've taken Lawson Lovering, by the way, into the locker room. Flyby stepping in, and it rattles in for Femi Odekale, and Seton Hall has matched their largest lead of the night.
That was a great pump fake. Looked like Paul Pierce right there with the slow pump. Get to his spot, Femi Odekale able to knock down a wide open shot.
7-0 run for Seton Hall, and Julian Hammond ends the drought for Colorado of almost 5 minutes without a field goal.
Yeah, they needed that one. Big time momentum stopper.
Nice pass. Al-Amir Dawes finding a cutting KC Nadefo.
He's been great, and it's just been his confidence and his physicality, and everybody's feeding off it. The timing on the rolls, the catch, and the finish. spectacular.
Julian Hammond turns the corner, spins in the key. Jalen Gabadon, and a foul, a block, the third on Al-Amir Dawes. And Colorado will head to the line with 10:41 to go. But Seton Hall has come out strong in the second half.
And it's been Casey Nadefo setting great screens. Beautiful catch, soft hands, and able to lay it in for the transfer from St. Peter's.
Strong second half for Seton Hall. They trailed by as many as 9 in the first half. The Buffs are up 6 at halftime, but Shaheen Holloway's team has rallied. Noah, what do you see different from Seton Hall in the second half?
You just know that locker room talk was ugly, and that Shaheen Holloway's going, Tyrese Samuel, you're bigger than them. Casey Nadefo, you're bigger and tougher than them. Play physical. You know that was coming, and that's coming from a guy who, by the way, won MVP of the McDonald's All-America game over Kobe Bryant. A guy who leads Seton Hall all-time in assists and has that respect, but the physicality really raised in the second half for Seton Hall.
Saying that last foul, by the way, where Gabadon drove was not a shooting foul, it was before he went up. And Seton Hall grabs the rebound.
I don't know about that. What was he doing in there then?
Tad Boyle got an explanation there during the timeout. And a foul and a push. Jalen Gabadon, his second.
And again, they're trying to test out Jalen Gabadon as a former Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year. And they're just going one-on-one on the block. Femi Odikali trying to attack him.
Al-Amir Dawes the pull-up. And Luke O'Brien gets the rebound for Colorado. As mentioned, the Big East tournament for Seton Hall. Colorado won their first round matchup of the Pac-12 tournament, beat Washington. Julian Hammond had a career high 21 as Tristan De Silva nails a three, and Colorado within one. And then the Buffs played a great game. The final score doesn't indicate how close their game was with UCLA. They end up losing 80-69, but they led at halftime, led for a good chunk of that game. And then some free throws near the end, and Tad Boyle got thrown out of that game. His frustrations got the better of him as Tyrese Samuel backs his way down. 14 for Samuel. The Seton Hall lead is 3.
And he let us know he went in, he congratulated UCLA on their win, and slept like a baby that night, got it out, and his players appreciated that he stuck up for them.
Julian Hammond and a block inside the restricted area. And the foul is on Dre Davis. That will send Hammond to the line as he was thrown out late in that game after arguing when he thought was a goaltending call that was not called. But here you see trying to slide over in the foot. The heel for Dre Davis was on the line for the restricted area.
Well, also he slid underneath him when he's already in the air. I thought that was an easy block.
True.
But both of these last two possessions, Roxy, for Colorado, you got Ethan Wright getting deep penetration, kicking it out to Tristan De Silva, and then that time Julian Hammond getting all the way to the cup. Earlier in the half, the penetration was stopping at about 15 feet. Now they're getting deep in, and that leads to great kickouts and getting to the free throw line.
And both teams playing without their starting point guards. KJ Simpson out for Colorado. That's what Julian Hammond has done in the absence of Simpson. And Kadari Richmond did not make the trip with Seton Hall here to Boulder.
He's got a great pedigree, son of Ruby and Julian, who played at Cal Poly and LMU respectively, and his grandfather Julian played for the Denver Rockets when they were in the ABA. So it goes way back in that family.
5 to shoot. Sami Odikale, the turnaround. Well defended by Ethan Wright, and Colorado looks to attack.
Ethan Wright's got a mismatch. He's got to go.
Luke O'Brien in the key, backing his way down. O'Brien has a block, got it back, tried the other side, and we're tied.
Yeah, excellent job to stay with it. Got his rebound after he got blocked by Dre Davis.
Tyrese Samuel now doubled in the post, and an errant pass thrown away. Goes to Colorado's. The Buffs from 5 down have come back to tie it with 7:51 to go.
Yeah, Luke O'Brien fighting back against Seton Hall inside. Denied once, probably got hacked, got it back, and able to put it in. And he wants the N1, he can't believe it. He's trying to win a game at home here for the Buffs.
little magic on the street in Boulder.
I did that correctly?
You didn't stop?
What's that? Oh,
Pick
well,
a card.
I thought it was a blackjack table, so I avoided it like the plague. But, you know, there's some magic missing, certainly from the Colorado lineup with KJ Simpson.
You mean the
out.
magic of KJ Simpson?
That's right, exactly, my friend. And they're missing the 15 points a game, the 4 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists a game. And when you miss a guy who can create offense for himself and for somebody else, obviously that's a huge storyline, and you're seeing the offense kind of suffer because he's out. I mean, he's a huge, huge part of what they do on both ends of the court.
So KJ Simpson, second team all Pac-12 performer out, puts more in the plate of Tristan Da Silva. And he missed the pull-up and the rebound grab by Seton Hall and Dre Davis.
Yeah, Tristan Da Silva with another jump shot that is a makeable shot. I mean, he had the 2 3-point shots that were semi-contested, and that was just a wide-open 15-footer off the pump.
Neither team shooting it well, both below 40% tonight. And driving into the key as it goes over the top of the backboard out of bounds to Colorado as Dre Davis could not get it to go. And a Colorado basketball.
But Seton Hall came out definitely determined in the second half. They're 9 for 16, and they're 2 for 4 from deep since coming out of halftime.
Tristan Da Silva against Tyrese Samuel. Da Silva the pump, the leaner, falls off, and the rebound grab by Tay Davis for Seton Hall.
And he's still playing at that Tristan Da Silva pace where he doesn't get sped up. And these are good looks, and looks he usually makes. He gives you 16 points a game. He shoots 50% from the field on the season.
And a travel. Goes back to the Buffaloes with 6:39 to go. So Ethan Wright has not attempted a shot here in the second half. After Ethan Wright nailed 3 threes in the first half, it sparked the Buffaloes.
He came in, though, and had a great penetrating kick to Tristan Da Silva that I thought was maybe going to get Tristan Da Silva going. Well, Ethan Wright's got to continue to be aggressive in attack.
It also seems like a point of emphasis for Shaheen Holloway to not let him get a look.
Hey, he was just wide open off the back screen, too.
Here he is, right on cue. Season high, 16 for Ethan Wright. He had 15 in a win earlier this year against Texas A&M. They destroyed Texas A&M. As Colorado has reclaimed the lead. 6 straight for the Buffs.
Back in the zone.
Five to shoot. Alamir Dawes launches a 3. Way off. And the rebound chased down by Tyrese Samuel. Finds underneath. And a foul committed. And Dre Davis will go to the line.
Yeah, looked pretty clean up top. Let's take a look. There was a great rebound by Tyrese Samuel on the perimeter. Overhead pass inside, and then, no, on second look, he got a lot of wrist right there. A lot of ball up top, but he got the right, I don't know, little wrist.
They called it on Luke O'Brien, his third. And one more for Dre Davis, 86% foul shooter. 5 points off the bench for Davis. He missed 6 games recently with his ankle, has come back strong. In fact, had that great game when they blew out Providence to end the regular season, went for a career high 24.
Yeah, his last few games he was 5 for 8 from the field, 5 for 8, 4 for 5, 9 for 10, and 2 for 3. I mean, just a spectacular stretch since returning, but he only played 10 minutes in that DePaul game. Had a couple of fouls. But he's 20 for his last 26 in the last 3 games. He's been on fire.
He pulls Seton Hall to within 1.
Better go right back to Ethan Wright.
Lawson Lovering in the game with his 4 fouls. Julian Hammond.
Tough. Might have been the toughest shot he shot all day. Or all night, rather. Julian Hammond floating, trapped in a phone booth of defenders.
3-point lead for CU. In the zone again, Colorado. To the basket. And gliding in, and it goes for Femi Odekale.
Yeah, what a spectacular finish. Able to sneak that thing right by Lawson Lovering. Nice.
Tristan Da Silva. 3.
Back-to-back great plays by Julian Hammond off the pick and roll. Lawson Lovering rolled hard, and Tristan Da Silva was wide open on the weak side.
Colorado 10 of 17 from 3. Corner 3, short from Alamir Dawes and Luke O'Brien. Career high 12 rebounds. Ethan Wright in transition. Wright can't bank it in. The offensive rebound, Luke O'Brien. Whips it out to Da Silva. Weak side, put back, Luke O'Brien.
Great sequence by Luke O'Brien. First to not force it on the offensive rebound, and second to find Tristan Da Silva on the weak side. What a play.
8 points, a career high, 14 rebounds for Luke O'Brien.
Yeah, both teams fighting hard. They want to survive here in the NIT and get to the next round. Great pick and roll action. Skip it over to Tristan Da Silva. He knocks it down. Huge shot for Colorado here at home.
Well, it's been a fun second half, back and forth between Colorado and Seton Hall. And after Seton Hall opened up a 5-point lead, Colorado's come storming back. Noah, what have you seen from Colorado that's gotten them going?
Well, they're getting up and getting rebounds, and Luke O'Brien has 14 rebounds. And it's that combined with the passing that set up some open three-point shots. Tristan Da Silva now up to 3 three-pointers, up to 15 points. But that gives you a huge lift. 3 of his rebounds have been on the offensive end. and he made two spectacular plays. He got the rebound, he didn't force a shot, and then he found Tristan Da Silva on the perimeter. Now, Luke O'Brien is an avid bowler and golfer and thinks he's an above-average golfer. But I tell you one thing, he's a spectacular rebounder.
And the shot over Lovering. Casey Nadefo trying to get Lovering out, playing with 4 fouls, goes inside, and it's a 4-point game.
He's been great. He just doesn't care who's there. He's going to go through them inside.
And there's a foul on Seton Hall, and it's on Femi Odekale, his third.
They saw the mismatch inside with Da Silva posting up, try to fire it in.
5th team foul on Seton Hall in the second half. Da Silva gets into the key with the left hand, trying high off the window. Ethan Wright tracks down the loose ball, then misses the lay-in. Bodies all over the floor, tangled up. And here comes Jameer Harris for Seton Hall.
Nice D by Ethan Wright to stop the semi-break.
Ten to shoot. The pull-up, too strong from Al-Amir Dawes, and the rebound, Colorado, inside 3 to go.
Now Luke O'Brien kind of signaling to his teammates to slow it down, set something up.
Off the hands of Lawson Lovering, who would have been home free for a dunk. Back the other way. What a play, and a finish by Al-Amir Dawes.
Ethan Wright made it tough going vertical, but that was a spectacular scoop finish.
And hobbling is Femi Odekale as he was tangled up at the other end. And on the arrow, it belongs to Colorado with 2:24 to go.
Yeah, scary sight for Seton Hall fans. Looks like he's going to stay in the game.
As Odekale trying to walk it off. And Colorado had a 5-on-4. Couldn't take advantage of it. Here's what happened to Odekale as Colorado calls a 30-second timeout.
Right there, passes behind Da Silva.
Thirty-second timeout. Well, Femi Odekale shaking it off, was hobbling a bit. And here's what happened. Watch him get tangled up here, coming in from behind the play right there, 21 in blue. And he just took an awkward step.
Yeah, non-contact injuries are always the scariest, but I think he's fine. He's staying in the game. He looks like he's okay.
Lob for Tristan Da Silva, who saves it. 5 to shoot, Ethan Wright. And he draws contact.
Great pump fake outside by Ethan Wright. And he sensed that the Seton Hall defense is setting up to take the charge. He decided to just leap in the air and wait for everybody else to come down.
2 shots for Ethan Wright. The foul was on Femi Odekale, his 4th. Ethan Wright, just a 60% foul shooter. That's very un-Princeton-like.
It's stunning. He played on a team last year with Jalen Llewellyn, with Drew Freiberg, and with Ryan Langborg, where 4 guys shot it right around 40%, and they had 4 guys who hit 53s or more. They were an all-time great offensive team, and you see it around the country, guys who can really hit threes, and their free throw percentage isn't what it should be. If you're a 40% three-point shooter, you should be shooting at 85%.
That did not look like a 60% shooter. Season high 18 for Ethan Wright. Had 29 at career best while playing for Princeton against Fairleigh Dickinson. Attack in the zone, underneath, and a slam. Tyrese Samuel his second straight double-double tonight. 16 points, 11 rebounds for Samuel.
A great job to just be in that dunker spot. And again, Casey Nadefo with an excellent play. He's more than just a shot blocker. He can really play on the offensive end.
90 seconds left. Luke O'Brien in the lane. The defense bit of the pump fake that he missed the chippy.
Everybody left. He was wide open.
Dawes for the lead. And the rebound, Lawson Lovering for Colorado.
A pretty great look from Alamir Dawes. Wide open, great design play.
Tristan Da Silva launches a three. And the rebound, Luke O'Brien fighting for it, but it's Odekali who has it. Then he has it stripped, gets it back. Jameer Harris ahead, ties the game. Casey Nadefo with a dunk and one. And a chance for the lead for Seton Hall with 32 seconds remaining.
I mean, after the loose ball, look at this pass right here. This is a spectacular pass coming up by Jameer Harris. Drops down on a diamond. How about that finish? Casey Nadefo up top with the foul on the head.
Fourth foul on Luke O'Brien. Nadefo 5 for 6 from the line, 64 points on this, 64% on the year, and he gives Seton Hall the lead. Ninth lead change tonight.
Expect Colorado to go right back to Tristan Da Silva.
And a timeout for Tad Boyle, and Colorado is full as Seton Hall has taken the lead. 29 seconds remain. Seton Hall, as they have come back to take the lead. Colorado's gone cold at the wrong time in the game, and the Pirates have capitalized.
Yeah, and it was the loose ball first that Luke O'Brien almost got his 15th rebound, but when Seton Hall came up with that basketball, there was no hesitation, no fear. They got it ahead to Casey Nadefo, and he was able to flush it down. But for Colorado, you got to get Tristan Da Silva involved on the same side as Ethan Wright. So you got two shooters, pick and roll action, and two options coming out of this, because Tristan Da Silva's been excellent, and he's had a lot of makeable shots that have just been off by a little bit. So you got to still play through him. He's your best player.
Third straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Saw the Colorado women, J.R. Payton's team, practicing here earlier today before they embark on the NCAA tournament. All right, 29.3 remaining in the game, Noah. 28 on the shot clock for Colorado. If you're Tad Boyle, how do you handle this offensively?
For me, because you're down, you go at around 15. You want a couple shots at it in terms of an offensive rebound, but in case you miss, you want to leave time on the clock. The other school of thought is go right away, you're down. Get a shot, get the best available one.
Here's Julian Hammond. On the cut, Hammond to the bucket. Colorado seesaws in front.
Hey, or you just go get a layup. UCLA screen, easy money, about the easiest shot Julian Hammond's got all night. And the construction workers here in attendance love it. Right here, great design play. Get it to Jalen Gavadon. Rush screen on the same side, wide open. I mean, that is the easiest layup that Colorado has had all night. That was a great design play.
20.6 to go. Colorado now out of timeouts. Seton Hall has a full and a 30. On a tie-up, it belongs to the Pirates. The team fouls in the second half. 8 committed by Colorado, only 6 by Seton Hall. So if Colorado does happen to foul, not in the act of shooting, it's a 1-and-1.
Now, I love Alamir Dawes involved in this play with Casey Nadefo, because Nadefo's a big, but he's got great decision-making and passing, so he can roll and then kick it to the next guy.
And Tyrese Samuel has been dominant inside. I wonder if they go in that direction.
Yeah, you leave him on the dunker spot so he can be the finisher.
And Shaheen Holloway has Femi Odekale bringing it into the front court, and now Seton Hall takes a timeout. And it's a 30 with 15.7 remaining. The winner will play the winner of New Mexico and Utah Valley. That game in Albuquerque tomorrow night at the Pit. 1-point lead, Colorado clinging to it here at home. As Seton Hall had to travel all the way out from New Jersey. And right now on the East Coast, it's after 1 in the morning.
Yeah, it's late, it's high, we're in the sky here. There's no oxygen in anybody's brain at this point of the game, but everything you've done all season now comes back as a player. And the best players get more calm in crunch time. And the big thing is, coach can draw up whatever he wants, but as a player, you got to be ready to make a play. And it might not be what he drew up, but you got 15 on the clock, and you got to have a bag that you're ready to go to.
Casey Nadefo will play it in. Into the backcourt for Femi Odekale. 10 seconds. Odekale around a screen. 4 seconds. Odekale the scoop, missing. Loose ball, and Ethan Wright has it. That will do it. Colorado escapes, and heartbreak for Seton Hall here in Boulder. They have one last chance.
Pretty great defensive